The Abyssinian sizo, Carassius abyssinicus, is a rather large bird about the size of an eider. It lives in the tropical belt of Africa, in areas located south of the Sahara. The appearance of this bird is very similar to that of the rocket-tailed and common curlew. Most of its body is covered with feathers colored in bright blue, while the back is brown, and the wing tips and tail are dark blue. By the way, the tail can reach a length of 12 centimeters. There is no difference between males and females in plumage or size. Young specimens are colored more faded than adults. The Abyssinian siskin is most often found in open areas with sparse trees, but it has also adapted to life in farmland and near human habitation. Often the bird takes a position on a tree or pole, from where it looks out for its prey. The Abyssinian siskin feeds mainly on large insects, worms and other invertebrates. She builds her nest in tree hollows or niches in buildings, where the female lays from 3 to 6 eggs. The birds behave fearlessly near their nest, fending off predators and attacking even a man who comes close. There are an incredible number of the most beautiful and amazing birds on our planet. It is impossible to imagine squares, gardens, fields and forests without them and their singing. They fill the surrounding world with magnificent singing and all sorts of shades of plumage. One of the brilliant representatives of the world of birds is the mute crow, more about it below. General information about the species raccoons are tropical birds. They include toadies, kingfishers, moths, hoopoes, ground raccoons and corncrakes, or real raccoons. The kingfishers, which plunge headlong into the water in search of fish, are particularly attractive and are also associated with classical mythology. The ancient Greeks believed that Ceres and Alcyone, wife, the shipwrecked Delphi, turned into kingfishers. The Chinese used the sparkling blue feathers of some varieties of these birds to decorate paintings. Other birds of this order, the snappers, have been accused of hunting valuable bees. And in North America, they are seen as enemies due to the fact that snappers prey on young fish in fish farms. Another bird, the kookaburra, has a loud laugh and even a donkey voice. The siskin is considered one of the most useful of its congeners. General information: this bird has ornate bright plumage. It belongs to the family of the sociopods of the order of the Racchetiformes. In the recent past, these birds lived all over Europe. Unfortunately, felling and destruction of old trees deprived them of many habitats. At present, the number of these beautiful birds, distributed on the territory of Europe, is about 100,000 individuals. At the same time, most of them live in Russia, Ukraine and Turkey. The use of insecticides in agriculture also leads to the fact that these birds are doomed to a half-starved existence. This prevents them from feeding their chicks, which greatly affects the renewal of the population. Habitat and nesting places: the siskins inhabit mostly ravines and steppe gullies. In large flocks, they can often be seen on wires, from which they occasionally take off. In more northern habitats, they prefer to nest in clearings and fire sites, also in pine forests and in thin oak groves. The little stint avoids dense forests with spruces. It prefers forest steppe zones, valley forests, willow plantations, steppe oak groves, and gardens. On steppe territories it chooses bluffs, ravines, riverbanks, etc. The breeding range of this bird is rather wide in Eurasia, from southern territories of Spain, France, Germany, and all Eastern Europe to Siberia and Tian Shan, and also Kashmir in Central Asia. The breeding area in Sweden reaches 61 degrees north, and in Finland 62 degrees. In Russia, they can be found in the vicinity of Kalinin, St. Petersburg, Gorky, Moscow, and Kazan. They are less common in the northernmost territories of Russia. Nesting places are east of the Urals, near the town of Kokshetau in Kazakhstan, midstream of the Irtysh River. These birds also inhabit Africa and Australia. In the regions of the southern regions the siskins lead, and in the northern regions they are migratory. Departure of these birds in the Black Earth Zone is gradual and begins almost in late August. In Crimea and the Caucasus, however, these birds stay longer in autumn, almost until the end of September. They fly away mostly in small flocks and very rarely alone. They fly in the direction of Africa. Features and habitat of the Siberian jaybird. The corncrake is a rather large and very unusual bird. Adult bird's wing length reaches 20 to 35 centimeters, wingspan 40 to 70 centimeters, body length together with the tail 30 to 35 centimeters and weighing 200 grams. Another name of the Siberian lapwing is raksha. The bird has rather stiff but very bright and beautiful plumage. The bottom of the body, wings, head and neck are greenish-blue, shimmering in the sun with different shades of these colors. The back and top of the wings are brown, the fly feathers are dark brown or brown, the large beautiful tail consisting of 12 fly feathers is bright blue. Young birds have a light plaque on their feathers, which disappears with age. In the photo, the siskin has a rather large head in relation to body size. The beak is strong, straight, slightly compressed at the sides, and with a small hump at the apex, the tip slightly hooked and brown in color. Around the beak the bird has stiff hairs vibrissae. Males and females of this species have identical size and coloration. It is difficult to distinguish them from each other. It is found mainly in the steppe and forest steppe zone of Western Asia, Europe and Africa, and in the CIS countries it is distributed from Altai to Tatarstan and southern Kazakhstan. In Russia it is possible to see this bird only in a warm season, as with approach of cold weather it migrates to Africa. However, over time, fewer and fewer birds return after wintering, and in some areas of Russia the little stit no longer inhabits at all. This is due to many reasons: human impact on the habitats of birds, catching and shooting birds for meat, beautiful feathers, and stuffing has a significant impact on the total number of individuals. In general, the genus includes 8 species: Abyssinian, Bengal, blue-bellied, red-bellied, rocket-tailed, Sulawesian, common and lilac-breasted hooded crow. Most of the names are indicative of the distinctive features of the species from other brethren. Description: the body length is 35 centimeters, with a weight of 180 grams. The height of this bird is about the same as that of an ordinary bird. The plumage of the bird is blue with a greenish tint. Shoulders and back are brown or reddish. The beak is black, short and quite strong. The lower part of the back, as well as the tail, is purple-blue in color, and all the fly feathers on the lower side are dark blue. The bird's sharp wings look a beautiful blue in flight. The head of young birds is a pale brown hue. Their flight is maneuverable, and their wing beats are deep and sharp. They move clumsily on the ground. Siskins have a sharp squeaky voice with a crash sound. During the spring period, the males are talking. They rise to a great height with jerky, cawing sounds similar to rack 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 dash. Then, tumbling, they make jerky and venturesome cries racker racker dash. Among other modestly colored birds, the siskin is very beautiful. Species: there are 8 species in the family of Scyzovoronca, of which only the common species lives in European and southern Russia. Each of the species has its own characteristics. 1. The lilac-breasted siskins are distinguished mainly by their mottled coloration. The thorax is lilac with a violet tint, the head and nape are green, and there is a whitish stripe near the eyes. Otherwise, the coloration is similar to that of the common individual. The bird lives only in Africa. Its lifestyle is sedentary. It has 2 subspecies. 2. Abyssinian shrike. This species is rare, lives in Central Africa, has a spectacular coloration, diet insects, small rodents. 3. Blue-bellied dove. This specimen has a dark green coloration on its back and cream coloration on its head. Occurs in Central Africa and eats termites. It has a pronounced territorial behavior. Every bird that happens to be near the nest is attacked.